Good morning, rock stars. Lidshaw, and in this video I want to give you guys an introduction to the Vanguard V44S. So get ready to rock. So I'm doing some drum tracking here in the studio, and I'm using a new mic from Vanguard Audio Labs that is super cool. It is a stereo mic right here called the Vanguard V44S. And so I want to give you guys a quick look at what's going on with this microphone and let you hear how it sounds as an overhead for the drums, which it works perfectly for. So I'm making some music with some friends here, doing Chris Chamness's record. And this is Shayne Cordevant's drum kit. He's got a beautiful DW clear kit, reminds me of a Vistalite. It sounds awesome, and Shayne is putting down some really cool grooves. But I needed to mic this thing up, so I thought on this one I would try a new mic, which I hadn't had a chance to listen to before. This is the Vanguard V44S. And if you take a closer look here, you'll notice that this microphone is a stereo condenser mic, large diaphragm. And it's basically two large diaphragm capsules on a single microphone. Beautiful looking in there too. And you can kind of even see that they're at different angles, right? So this one is pointing down this way at this side of the kit. And then this top capsule here is pointing this way down at this side of the kit. Now in this particular case, I'm actually using each of these capsules in a figure-8 mode. So this capsule right here is picking up what's in front of it, but the back is also picking up what's behind it. So, and then same thing with this one, it's picking up what's in front of it down here, and then the back is picking up behind it. So you get a little bit more of the sound of the room above and stuff like that. And you get a wider stereo image, which is really cool. And we talked about this on my podcast episode recently with Steve Genowick, and he talked about you know, how the figure-8 gives you a little bit of a wider stereo sound than doing two cardioids, which would be more of a traditional XY pattern. But that basically lets us pick up, I'm trying to get you a good angle here, but that basically lets you pick up a good stereo image of the drum kit, where you've got, you know, the snare and the hi-hat on one side, and then the floor tom and the ride and cymbals over on this side. Now this mic has a single custom cable that comes out, that's a 5-pin cable, and runs down here, and then that cable comes right down here and goes into the back of this box. So this box takes the V44S cable input and gives you a breakout. So it'll basically split it out where you can do the top mic and the bottom mic. You can also, if you want, flip the phase on the top mic if you were going to basically create a mid-side MS pattern and decode it yourself at a console, or you can even just pull out the mid and the side mics right here and then just put it into an MS decoder in your DAW or something like that. But this box, basically it's passive. It's just going to split the signal and give you two mic lines going out, which are going to the mic panel here. And then let me show you what they're going into in the control room. So in the control room, I'm bringing in both of my overheads through the Spectra 1964 STX100 mic preamps, which are amazing sounding preamps. They sound super, super cool. Really, really pure, crisp, punchy sounding drums through these two. But essentially, you know, I got phantom power going on each mic right there. This is sort of an input gain, and then this is the output level right here. And I think in this case, I am not using the pads. So I do have a 10 dB pad, but I opted to not use them. So I didn't even really need to use it for these drums, which is cool. And then those go straight over to Pro Tools, and I'm bringing it in on a stereo overhead track right there. So let me jump into Pro Tools and I'll give you guys a sample of what this sounds like in there. All right, cool. So here we are in this session, and I've been tracking some drums and bass and guitar, but let me just zone in on the drums for you for a sec and give you a sample of what this sounds like on the overheads. So here's the overhead track, which again is that V44S microphone coming in through the pair of STX mic pre's. And if I solo this guy, you'll notice that there's a really nice, simple, straightforward, cohesive stereo image. So when I set up the mic, one of the things that I tried to do is I tried to center it pretty much above the kick and the snare. You can kind of hear that where the mic is, you hear the kick over to the right just slightly because, and then the snare over to the left just slightly, or snare in the center maybe, and that's because the kick and the snare aren't literally on top of each other. With a stereo mic, they're gonna sound like, you know, you hear that slight bit of difference there, but essentially it just sounds centered, which is great. And then you'll notice that the hi-hat sounds like it's nice and over to the left in a very realistic kind of way, and the ride and the other cymbals, the crashes and stuff like that, they all pan out really nicely, which is awesome. That's what's so cool about a well-placed stereo mic on a drum set like that, is it sounds very realistic. Okay, let's go to this section here at the solo where you really hear the panning on the right, and you're going to hear the crashes go over towards the right, and then you're going to hear the floor tom riding out too. So pretty awesome, you know, you really hear that separation. Cool, now let's add some other mics so you can hear how this adds up. So if you got the overhead in here, add the kick mic. And then add the sub kick to that. So the sub kick does a really cool thing, but it's pretty subtle too. And then here's the 57, SM57 on top of the snare. And then add the bottom mic to it. All right, now already with just a single stereo overhead mic and kick and snare, I've got a pretty great sounding drum kit. I could definitely make a record with that. There you go. So even if you didn't have tom mics, listen to this fill right here with just the overheads, the kick and the snare mic in. Pretty cool sound. If you enjoyed checking this mic out and you want to go learn more about Vanguard yourself, just go to the link below in this video, vanguardaudiolabs.com. You can go check out the V44S stereo microphone, an incredibly affordable price of only $6.99 for a stereo, high quality, dual large diaphragm microphone. Super awesome. Plus you could use this thing as a single mic if you wanted to, and just have a really killer condenser to use on anything in your studio. So very cool. Thanks for watching this. If you liked the video, also hit the like button and remember to subscribe so you don't miss any videos from us here at Recording Studio Rockstars, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.